Hey everyone, Angelo here with Kinetic Analysis Corporation. We are a leading provider of tropical cyclone data throughout the world. And I wanted to take a look at the latest on Hurricane Idalia. And so what you see here is our landing page on Kineticast. And so if I go ahead and click on Idalia, we'll start by looking at the hazard layers for the storm. And as you can see, we currently expect, or the current expectation is that Idalia will make landfall in the Big Bend region of Florida as a Category 3 storm with winds of roughly 120 miles per hour. And so if I click on each of these different wind polygons, you can see what sorts of wind speeds we expect for certain locations. And so that gives you a very detailed view of the wind impacts that we expect to see. If I toggle over to the surge, we can see that parts of the Big Bend are expected to see 9 to 12 feet of storm surge from Idalia, which is very significant. And so this calculation includes both the storm inundation as well as effects due to astronomical tides and the lowering of pressure. And so all of that is included in the calculation. You can see we also expect very significant wave heights with Idalia, as well as 6 to 9 inches of rain over parts of the Big Bend and the Florida Peninsula. So those are the hazards. Now, if I take a look at the multi-model tracks, that gives us an idea of sort of the uncertainty that we expect in the forecast and what each of the different model simulations are showing. And as you can see, based on the most recent track guidance, there actually has been a bit of a westward shift. So the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center, which is what you see in the dotted lines, that's actually on the eastern side of the guidance right now. So we might see that shift with the next advisory. And then I want to also take a look at the losses that we expect to see. And so starting with the admin 0 losses, these are just the national level losses, so they don't really give us a lot of information for this storm in particular. But if I click on admin 1, that'll give us a state level view. And so you can see in the state of Florida, we're expecting, just over $1.7 billion in losses in purchasing power parity. And if I want to become even more detailed, I can click on admin 2, where I can look at the county level losses. So if I click on an individual county, then I can see what sorts of economic impact we're expecting in that county. Another really useful feature of Kineticast is the ability to look at facilities info. So these are things like airports, seaports, energy facilities, as well as medical facilities. And so you can also look at that in the facility impacts tab right here. Oops. Sorry about that. And you can see we are able to look at things like the structural damage, the contents damage, the start time for the impact, so when we expect impacts to occur, as well as how long we expect those impacts to last, which is known as the downtime. And then we can also take a look at the forecast quality. So this basically shows you how the different models have performed up until this point for the storm. And what you want to look for is each of these dots with the lines, you want them to be closer to center. The more closer they are to center, the more accurate that model is performing for any given day. And so you can see for Idalia, especially in the more recent days, the GFS seems to have performed the best. And then the HWRF model has also sort of come into agreement over the last few days. And another way of looking at that is the forecast history tab, where we can look at each of the different days with each of the models overlaid so that we can compare them one-to-one on the same plot. And so these are just some of the features that we can look at on Kineticast. And so I hope you found that helpful, and please leave your questions or comments underneath the video. Thank you very much.